Well, I will just kick it off by thanking for jumping on. Thank you for jumping on a call with me. You and I have texted a bunch over the last couple of weeks. It's been very interesting for me to see the multitude of ways in which you're helping people, either individually or via their businesses. And I think the whole idea of having an attorney where you can turn to and ask questions is probably even more important than it's ever been, because there's a lot of banking and legal and financial and tax and grant associations with what's happening right now in the law. And I just figured we'd get on the phone real quick, or get on a Zoom real quick. And I'd ask you a little bit about how have you guys adapted what you're doing to, maybe we'll focus first on individuals, but then next on businesses. But how have you focused to adapt what you're doing to what's needed right now?
Yeah, so I think just in general, what I'm seeing is a general fear and anxiousness from people, just an unknown. How long is this going to last? What's the next restriction that's going to be either put in place or lifted? So, zero into Rame, Elwood, and McClure, we've got individual clients that are maybe have a pending criminal case or a pending divorce. And so a lot of that's just been put on hold as far as the courts are concerned. So the Supreme Court has basically said nothing but emergency matters until May 4th. And I hear today that they're getting ready to extend that to May 17th.
Okay.
And so obviously we have to communicate with our clients and assure them that we're still handling their matter properly, do the things we can do, which other than court, like discovery or things like that. So we're doing a lot of telephonic meetings, a lot of video conferencing with our clients. We're initiating that with our clients so that they don't have to call us, and we're just sharing information. We're saying, here's what the Supreme Court did. Here's our limitations. If you had a hearing in April or May, it's now reset to June, July. We're still meeting with the prosecutor's office by telephone or video to negotiate plea agreements and things of that nature. And then obviously, our business clients, we've communicated with them, I guess, a little bit more because they have some immediate needs right now. And so, as you look at my billable hours in a given week, they've shifted. I mean, they've increased, but they've shifted. I might do 40-50% of my practice is criminal. I'm probably doing 90% advising businesses right now. And that's just kind of how it is. And so I'm fortunate to be able to have shifted instead of just having no work. I am very concerned for my friends that are lawyers, if they're just criminal lawyers or just divorce lawyers or things of that nature, that this time period is tougher on them. So, and I talk to about 8 or 9 of them daily, just to say, how you doing, things like that. But I think the key is with our clients themselves is just communication with them.
And you guys have sort of embraced this from video calls to phone calls to, every dynamic that you have to make them as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, as soon as this happened, we actually sent a mass email to all of our clients telling them, we're available.
Yep.
We're not allowing the public in, but we're available for phone conferences, video conferences. We also posted on social media to that effect. So yeah, we felt like we got on top of it pretty quickly. And the other thing we did, talking about the business clients, is we really dove in. We literally had 2 attorneys, myself included, diving into this emergency loan and the stimulus packages, and HIPAA, and a lot of HR issues, because we have some large clients, North Shore, Porter County, Purdue schools, et cetera, that had just a lot of HR issues come up, had a lot of HIPAA issues come up, and it was changing daily. I mean, the stimulus package was changing, or the bills before they became law were changing.
Literally up to the night before.
Exactly. Literally up to the night before, where they opened up the applications for the PPP loans. And so, but even before that, the HR questions that are coming out, because you have the paid FMLA leave now, you have the CARES Act leave. And so you just had a lot of moving parts, and some of our larger employers had lots of questions. And so We were trying to get ahead of it. I think we did a good job of it. I'm very happy and proud to announce that both existing clients and new business clients, I did a PPP loan or an EDL loan for about 25 of them, and 80% of those have been funded. And I credit that, at least in part, well, let's credit it to the fact that they're working with a good bank, because the 20% that didn't get funded didn't have their banks didn't handle it the best. But I credit it too that we were, because of our advice and assistance, we were first in.
Yeah.
So their applications were the first in, or in that first bunch at least. And so they got funded. We also assisted 5 not-for-profits, obviously without charging a fee. And so that was important and felt good. Lakeshore Paws, Chicago Street Theater, obviously North Shore Health Centers, and some others. So it was nice to assist them. But just in dealing with the clients, there was a lot of questions, a lot of anxiety, a lot of just don't know, and a lot of rumors and misinformation.
Yeah.
Because as information comes out, I was living in a world at one point, this was early on, but the American Bankers Association and the American Dental Association came out with opinions, and they were divergent, and they were both wrong. I don't blame them.
Probably with the best of intention, but
oh yeah, absolutely.
They just were interpreting it on the fly like everybody else.
And they very shortly after that corrected it, but it was the world we were living in. And so I don't know, I was probably averaging, I usually deal with 75 to 100 emails a day. I was probably dealing with 250 to 300.
Wow.
Zoom meetings, teleconferences. I mean, it was invigorating to some extent personally, because I wasn't forced to sit at home like a lot of people. And obviously we're, attorneys with the clients that we advise were essential. But we modified our staff as well. We had 2 people working from home. On top of that, we had another attorney go home and work from home. We split shifts where, one set of staff would be here, and they would distance obviously, but they'd be here from, 8 a.m. to noon, and then they'd go home, and another 2 employees would come in at different desks after they had been sanitized, from 1 to 5. And so we've done, I think, all that we can. And only, we've only done essential travel. I basically come to work and that's it. And the other thing I noticed is we live in a pretty good county. The judges, the commissioners, the council, the sheriff, the prosecutor, my public defender staff all deserve a shout out, because they've just done a good job. And you look at the number of cases, we've done a yeoman's job. And so I'm proud of that too.
Well, and I, as you know, I sort of watch everything from a communication side. Like I watch everybody, whatever they're doing with any form of communication. And I would definitely commend everybody throughout county government and all local government, really. I mean, there's just so much communication happening, and the status of the cases, what the county's doing, what the sheriff's doing to protect people. Like everybody has been, to me, it's a little bit more like what you said a second ago, that you get motivated or you get energized by how much there is to do. I've been blown away by how significantly companies have improved themselves because of this. They didn't choose it. They probably wouldn't choose it again, by God, but they've been thrown into this situation, and people have figured it out. And people have been like, there's a lot of great examples of leadership and communication, and I mean, let alone all the positive aspects of empathy and kindness and care and all those other things, but just people making decisions and getting after it has been impressive as heck.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because everybody knows this, but the flow of information was coming from the federal government down to the state government, and the states down to the county, to the locals, and then everybody's having to daily digest, understand the information, understand the plan, and then implement it themselves. So I've seen some great leadership. I've seen people differentiate themselves from that standpoint, from an empathy standpoint. I could not be more impressed with our superintendent at Portage Schools, Amanda Alaniz. She is amazing, and she has shown it through this crisis, and I couldn't be more impressed. And then she's not the only one. I mean, I think if you go down the list, I think Sue Lynch has done a nice job, and I just think there's been a lot of people out there that have stepped up and delivered.
Yeah, we are very fortunate in a way, obviously, probably now more than ever, to be at the center of a lot of positive stuff. And we've been buried for weeks on end because there's parades and supports and fundraising drives and food distributions and companies stepping in to support and people providing masks and kids finding a way to connect with each other while they're training and people doing things to honor the kids at the schools. So in a strange way, we've been busy as heck. There's no baseball games, there's no softball games,
Right.
there's no track meets, but our crew, again, all virtually, has just been busy as heck because they're doing a drive-by at the hospital with first responders, or they're doing the people that drive around in a neighborhood to celebrate a kid's birthday or to welcome somebody home that's recovered. It's, from my standpoint, it's been nothing that anyone would ever want to go through, but dang, has it really affirmed like the values people have.
Well, the other thing, I've always felt that we devalue teachers, we devalue nurses, police, firemen. Boy, I hope our society reassesses that after this time, because those are the real heroes. Anybody on the front line at these healthcare facilities and hospitals and, firemen, EMT, police, et cetera, and teachers. It's just, we really need to reassess how we value them. And pay and otherwise. I just think the respect level for a lot of those professions has not been what it has been historically, and I hope this educates us to change that.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that you want to impact us forever, not just right now.
Right.
And you think, I've got a daughter that works at a hospital, you've got lots of family and friends, whatever, that work in healthcare. Every one of those people that's stepping out there, but also the police officer that's going to talk to somebody that he knows might give him something, or the firefighter, or the people at the grocery store. I mean, there's just a lot of people that they are taking some kind of a risk to best support us. And that's just impressive as all get out.
Yeah, it is. And they're doing it thanklessly. And even besides that, so many businesses, restaurants have stepped up to feed these individuals. And, every day you get on social media or you read the newspaper that this restaurant delivered meals to this hospital or this fire station or what have you. And that's awesome to see. And, while there's been anxiety and fear throughout this, there's also been a lot of thoughtfulness and caring. And that comes out. My wife and I were fortunate. We always have a big Easter at our house and 35, 40 people. And it was depressing to not have it. I mean, I love the little kids, Easter egg hunting and everything, but we did a Zoom virtual Easter egg hunt. My wife and I cooked all the food and we delivered it to the grandparents and my mom and nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters. And so there's ways around it. And we just need to be creative in our thinking. And this will be over at some point. It will.
And when we do all get back together and you can give that person a hug or you can shake their hand or really embrace them, it'll probably mean more than it ever has.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Well, thank you, for being there on behalf of me, all the other businesses that you serve, all the people that you interact with. I know you've been a lot of help. I've watched a couple people spout out online, hey, listen, thanks a lot to Raymond Elwood. You guys were right on top of it. From my standpoint, that was what was most impressive. It was, hey, these programs are out there. We're on top of it. We have answers. We're going to get ready for whatever questions you have. And then literally adapting by the day, because I think in the beginning they were saying, oh, big banks are going to be better at this. So, well, no, actually small banks are going to be better at this. It's who knew? Nobody really knew. And to me, it's on a community level, on a business level, on a legal level. It's just been impressive to watch. So thank you. Thanks for taking a couple minutes with us. I know you got a lot going on, but appreciate the time.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you.
Okay, take it easy.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.